Hello again, everyone. Everyone remembers the night that Ron Artest went into the stands in Detroit and a melee ensued. No one remembers what the final score was, who won the game, or what even really led up to those events. After today's Crosstown Shootout game, you wonder if anyone will remember any of the same things.
It's our city! It's our city!
These are the images you'll never get the chance to see. The sounds you'll never get the chance to hear. On a day that should have been a celebration for the 8th-ranked Musketeers and their fans, this will be the only thing that most people remember.
There's no excuse for any of it. On our side, on their side, guys need to grow up.
I told our guys exactly what I told you. I'm a very honest coach. I was disappointed with how it ended, and I'll leave it at that.
But how did it get to this ending? It started off like any other Crosstown shootout. The fans were rowdy and ready. The ball was tipped, and both teams went to work. The two struggled to find their groove, feeling each other out, and when 5 minutes had passed, they had only scored a combined 8 points. But Xavier found their groove. Mark Lyons kept the Muskies in the game. He led the way with 19 points. For the Bearcats, it was all Yancey Gates. Gates had his way on the offensive end, accounting for 18 points, while chipping in 12 rebounds. Had he gotten any help from his teammates, this might have been a different story. But UC couldn't get anything going, and after shooting just 32% in the first half, they followed that up with a 24% showing in the second half. Meanwhile, freshman Des Wells was putting on a show of his own in his first shootout, a 14-point outing to show for his efforts. And then there was Kenny Freeze. He's been up and down during his career at Xavier, but he saved one of his best games for today, a 13-point, 13-rebound game. But none of those numbers, nor the final score of 76-53 Xavier, will be remembered. Instead, we're left with these images and to wonder if the series should continue on or be left on the shelf.
At the end of the day, if that has to happen to answer your question, that's a shame.
You know, I'm clouded right now because we can't end games like this. I mean, it's just it's irresponsible by both programs, and I don't know.
So the number 8 team won, but both the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country put their rankings on the line. Ohio State at Kansas and Kentucky at Indiana. The Wildcats looking to continue their reign as number 1, but the Hoosiers had different plans. Indiana led 30-29 at the half, and in the second half, they put some distance between them and Kentucky. Indy on the break, and this is Will Sheahy from distance. Hoosiers up by 10. Wildcats are stunned, but Kentucky would regroup. Down 70-69, under a minute left. Marquise Teague gives Kentucky the lead. Last chance for the Hoosiers. Down by 2 with the game on the line. Christian Watford for the win. Count it. And down goes Kentucky. Indiana with the 73-72 stunner in Bloomington. Ashley Steer is dancing in the streets somewhere. And if Ohio State was going to win, they'd have to do it without Jared Sullinger. Not an easy task to undertake, and the Buckeyes weren't exactly up to the challenge. William Buford picked up some of the slack without Sullinger around with 21 points, but the Buckeyes could only muster 4 points out of their bench, and the starters failed to outscore the Jayhawks on their home floor. Elsewhere, Miami hosting Wright State up in Oxford. Justin Bieber and Betty White made the trip. Early on, the Redhawks were looking good. Adds Julian Mungaiva with the triple, and he's having an outstanding year so far. If only he could get some help. His teammate Will Sullivan wants to be that guy. He takes it all the way to the hole by himself for the lay-in for 2 of his 7 points. Charlie Cole likes what he sees, but at 1 point at the half, his crew turned into a 2-point deficit in the second half. 51-49, Wright State, your winners over Miami.
It is my pleasure to announce that the 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
And there you have it, folks. Quarterback Robert Griffin III is your Heisman winner. The Baylor product becomes the first ever Bear to win the award. Stanford's Andrew Luck came in second for the 2nd year in a row. Alabama's Trent Richardson finished 3rd. Throwback night at U.S. Bank Arena. Cyclones hosting the always frozen, never fresh Toledo Walleye. Cincinnati jumped out to an early 1-0 lead on this Matthew Aubin goal. And then it started raining Bears. Stuffed bears, that is. Fans encouraged to bring them to the game where Cincy's finest collected them for the needy children at Christmas time. An excellent cause. The Cyclones made it a 2-0 affair when Jeremy Claver found the back of the net. Not a good night to be a walleye. Cyclones win 3-2. And finally, National League MVP Ryan Braun has tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. The Brewers slugger is appealing the ruling, but should it be upheld, he faces a mandatory 50-game suspension, which will begin Game 1 of next season. That's it for sports. We're back with more right after this.